I'd like to start this meeting at 7:01. So now we can go straight into a roll call.
Okay, cool. So is Youth Commissioner Aragno here?
Here.
Youth Commissioner Bender?
Here.
Youth Commissioner Chu?
Here.
Youth Commissioner Egg?
Here.
Youth Commissioner Garcia?
Here.
Youth Commissioner Ada He?
Here.
Youth Commissioner Carmen He?
Here.
Youth Commissioner Hune?
Here.
Youth Commissioner Ahmad Kanamuri?
Here.
Youth Commissioner Dhruv Kanamuri?
Here.
Youth Commissioner Kim?
Here.
Youth Commissioner Kazarli?
Hi.
Youth Commissioner Lister?
Here.
And Youth Commissioner Wolf?
Here.
All right, now we can move on to the approval of the minutes.
I motion to approve the minute.
I second.
So Ada and Carmen both motion. Cool. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any who abstain? Yeah, Hannah, when you, yeah. So in case you guys don't know, this is a little something like, it's good for everybody to understand. So if you're not at a meeting, the next meeting when we go over the minutes, those like people who are not at the minutes can't really, say aye or, approve the minutes. So when we say abstain, they're going to be the ones who actually abstain. So that's something, we can know for the future. So yeah, in this situation, Hannah will abstain. All right, so then I guess, do we have any oral requests? All right. Any announcements? Okay, guys, we can go straight into old business. So college and beyond.
Okay, so we discussed the subcommittee over Slack, and we decided to move back our college essay workshop because we still have not heard back from all the teachers that we reached out to give them adequate time to respond. And then we've moved it to November 20th, but the time is still the same, so 5 to 7 p.m. And also, I have one RCP for the November 20th date. I just checked today. That's about it.
Did you say?
Sorry. You can go.
Did you say 7 to 8 p.m. or did I say that wrong?
No, 5 to 7.
5 to 7.
So a quick question for everybody else on the commission. So we are trying to find, teachers, counselors to help approve or, kind of proofread essays. So all of us in our subcommittee reached out. I mean, on my end, some teachers just said no, played out nicely, of course. But we're wondering if anybody else can, please help us out in terms of reaching out to other teachers or counselors, or maybe having like anybody, like maybe a family member who's like either English teacher or something, who'd be willing to help us out, because like this is a pretty important event and it has been effective in the past. So in order to keep like this whole pandemic or online kind of event still going strong, like just requesting any help from other commissioners. And if any commissioners have any questions?
You guys want to do the 20th, even though the YAC social is that night as well?
Isn't the YAC social at 7 or is that 6? I don't think we got like a confirmation or like, a final time from like the organizers.
It's at 7, I believe. 7. So technically that works. That's just kind of up to you guys if you want to have 2 events back to back like that. Also, my concern is that the poster has been spread around, spread word through the schools and things like that. So I don't know if you guys want to make, a rescheduled flyer to then post that out, or if you guys want to make it like a peer editing event where you guys keep the same date, and then if people show up, you can just say that we're going to do some peer edits. Just a couple thoughts there.
I think we can kind of combine both in terms of maybe like waiting till November 20th, because I know like a lot of seniors are still kind of working on some of their essays right now too, especially for UCs. So I think like, we could maybe do like a peer edit still thing for November 20th as well, to see if we still don't have any teachers by then, whatever students kind of pop up, we can also have, kind of breakout rooms kind of situation prior, like when that time span that we have where they all review essays for one another. That can be like something we can also put on the flyer update, because I think all we have to do is just change the date and say also like peer review session as well. So that could be something we can do on the flyer. Should be an easy fix, and you can like, start circulating as soon as possible, unless anybody else had any other objections or any questions or anything else add on.
I'd be willing to reach out to some of my teachers, but do you guys think you could maybe provide like a template for emails and stuff? So I know like exactly what to say.
We actually do have a template. It's in the College and Beyond folder in the drive.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Hey, Emily, can you do like quickly like a quick note of that to like just make sure we can reiterate that at the end, like as like reminders for the event?
Totally.
Thank you. All right, are there any other questions from youth commissioners in terms of this event? Are there any public comments, Julie? All right, then we
Wait,
can
sorry,
move on
I
to
have
academic. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I
Yeah,
have a question really fast. So, is it definite that the November 20th event is going to be like peer editing and teacher editing, or is that like still to be decided?
Our goal, I believe, is to have it mainly teacher editing, but if it comes to the point where we don't have enough teachers, we can still make it a peer edit session as well. Any other questions?
Yeah, were you guys gonna make like a rescheduled flyer? Because I sent out the flyer to like my school's ASB or whatever.
I did also. So.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, Emily was just saying that she also sent it out too. So yeah, I think we can, re-edit it and then send out a new one.
Yeah, I've just edited. I actually just edited it today, right before the meeting, and I'll post it on Slack afterwards.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, because we should get those out tomorrow for people who might have been planning to come on Wednesday. So can you put like a big, like make it kind of like noticeable that it's like rescheduled in some kind of font that, you can really tell that it's different from the other poster, so that people know it's not just the same poster.
Are there any other questions from youth commissioners? Any public comments? All right, now we have academics.
Okay, so we decided to scrap our tutoring idea because it was getting too late into the year, and it would be hard to just start it up again in January. So we decided to do a trivia night on December 11th, holiday themed, for families starting at 5 p.m. And we're going to make it similar to Jeopardy and go hopefully about 30 to 45 minutes. And sort of about the winter season as well, with Christmas, Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, all the stuff that's around that time. And we were, because I guess the tutoring again didn't really fit into our schedule, and we didn't feel as passionate about it. So yeah.
Any questions or comments? Any public comments? All right, next we have civic engagement.
So since we finished our first event, we're going to start brainstorming for the coffee and politics.
And since that's, I think, going to be in April or May, we have time to brainstorm, so we're not in a rush right now. And I'll make sure to get the summary of our goals to you, Julie, by tonight.
Any questions or comments from any of the youth commissioners? Any public comments? All right, next we have environment.
Okay, so as you guys have probably noticed, like we kicked off our hashtag Team Saving the Earth challenge yesterday on social media. But Julie pointed something out. She pointed out that like because of the election hashtags, like they weren't showing the most recent posts and they were blocking, like they're blocking most recent posts and stories to prevent the spread of misinformation. And so we were discussing extending the challenge to last all week so people could get their hashtags and stories in. And then we'd have to update the flyer and then make new advertisements, but we were going to work on that and then send it out so we could have the challenge running this entire week.
Sounds good. Any other, youth commission questions, comments? Any public comments? Up next, we have wellness.
Our speakers are continuing to write their like presentations, but we don't have anyone new or new developments at this time.
And how many speakers do you have for that event right now, Ashley?
I think we currently have 2, Eric and Lisa Miller.
Okay, great. And then you guys will be on top of the flyer at least 2 weeks before the event, right? Because I know that's kind of
Yeah, we have
here
one mostly made.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Any other questions or comments? Any public comments? Next, we have recreation.
Okay, so we're planning on the 21st, we have our Thanksgiving crafts, which we already have, I think you said 4 spots, or we had a couple spots taken already, which is very exciting. And we should be planning Winter Wonderland soon, like come up with a date. And we really want to work with like wellness and environment. I don't know if like we made that clear last meeting since I wasn't here, but that's just like one thing that we talked about on the side that we want to work together, but our Thanksgiving events happening coming up.
And I talked to a couple of people from the adult center today, and they're getting a kind of winter holiday tea box together, similar to what we're doing for the Thanksgiving box with the kids. And so they would definitely love to work with wellness or recreation or anybody who wants to work on it with them. That will be, they're hoping for December 12th. It'll be like a Zoom call where the seniors can do like they'll pick up a bag of a craft and tea, and we'll do some kind of Zoom game and stuff with them. So that, yeah, is just starting to get planned. But if you guys are interested in that, I can give you more information, especially wellness and recreation subcommittees. So we can talk about it later too if you want, but let me know if you have any questions.
Is this opportunity only for the youth commission?
Yeah.
All right, any other questions or comments? Any public comments? All right, now social justice.
Okay, so it's not on the calendar reminder, so I just wanted to say social justice, it has its immigration reform speaker series coming up this Friday, so November 13th. And it'll be from 4:30 to 5:30, and all the information about it and a poster like flyer is in the social justice like tab in the Google Drive. Yeah, so we'll have like 3 people that are speaking about immigration reform. So please come to that. And if you haven't like sent out information, maybe try and send out information to promote it. And then for any new news, we're planning, so I have a lot of questions about this also, but we thought it would be a good idea to sometime in January have like a virtual poster making event. But we were wondering like, is it okay to try and get supplies and then give them out like one day at the like at the Campbell Community Center or something? And is it okay to like have people drop off their posters, and if they aren't actually participating in the march, like have us go and give it out? Like, is that allowed or not? Like, because it's in person. I was just wondering about that.
Sorry, can you explain like a little bit more of exactly what they'd be doing like in person?
So basically so first, like we would, before the actual virtual event, we would say like for anyone who needs it, we'll be giving out like these packages, right, which would be like poster board and maybe like a few markers, so that you like people who can like get material that way like from us, like that's one option. Like we don't have to do that. I'm asking if we can. Then we would have a virtual event sometime later, completely virtual, and we would just have everybody like making their posters and being able to talk and maybe giving ideas, right? And then the actual day of the like, and then people can drop off their posters, right, in person, and then we would personally, like if they didn't want to actually do the march, because I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't, especially with COVID, like and things like that, so then we could hand out those posters on the day of the march. Like, so the 2 in-person sides of it, we're wondering, are those okay or not?
Gotcha. I'm pretty sure that's could be doable, but definitely the pickup of the supplies, because we've done that for other things. The drop off of the posters would be a little more tricky, because I could see them arguing that, you know, that's coming from somebody else, then it needs to be like disinfected or, you know, kept aside for 2 weeks to make sure it doesn't have any germs on it. So that could be a little more tricky, but I like the idea of the virtual, like making the posters together and stuff, and then hopefully whoever made a poster would want to be at the march.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we'll plan on then trying to give out like a package of supplies in person, and then have the virtual event. And I'm sure like it would be a good idea to just encourage people to like put it up in their windows and stuff on the day of the march, like even if they don't want to go. So
yeah, good idea.
Any other questions or comments? Any public comments? All right, so that wraps it up for old business. Now on to new business. So we have the job fair.
Yeah, so we have been talking a little bit to a couple members of the Civic Improvement committee for Campbell. That's different from our subcommittee. And from my understanding, they usually run the job fair in past years. Obviously, I haven't seen it, so I'm still figuring out a little bit of that information, but they would like to, you know, kind of get started with some ideas. If you guys have anything that you think could make it a good event, I'd love to hear what you liked about it in the past, if you've been. Things that worked well, things that maybe didn't work, and then if you have any ideas for how we could possibly do it with COVID, which I know can be tricky, but it's just kind of just a brainstorming time. So yeah.
So I attended last year. Oh, you can go, Caitlin. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, I feel like if there's a way to do it like in person, it might be more successful, because I feel like online it's kind of hard, because you would have to like have breakout rooms or like presentations. And I think the really appealing thing about the job fair was that people could go like table to table and just kind of like pick up like the papers if they were interested. And I don't really know how that would work online unless it was just like a website, but I don't know if like we would be able to do like a Zoom event because it's not really like you're listening to anything. It's more just like getting information of things you're interested in.
Yeah, kind of going off of that, like that kind of one-on-one interaction where you like, you provided people where they can just talk to that, like, representative, like one-on-one, ask any questions that they had. I think that was pretty effective. So I think maybe like as a modified in-person situation where like last year, I think we had it open for 3 to 4, like I think 3 hours. Maybe we can open it up for like 5-hour time span, but like only like limit the amount of people that are actually inside. So like we could have like, we last time we had like this big room like in the Campbell Community Center. And we had like, we had no cap number in terms of how many people can enter, but maybe we can do something where we have like, 20 to 30 people at a time, or like, figure out the number and like, just make sure like have them enter one way, exit out the other way. And then every time like somebody leaves, you can wait for like a group of 5 people and then send in the next group of 5. That could be something where we still have that whole in-person thing, making sure social distance is happening, kind of like mark spots where people can stand in line for like whatever job they're looking for, or asking questions. That could be something we can do where we also just make sure that we're like, guarding both entrances, making sure like, the number is still the same, like have some commissioners inside, just make like watching over to make sure like nobody's like, breaking the rules. Like that could be something that we can do. Cause like I attended last year, right? And it was pretty effective in person. I had a great turnout. And like just speaking from experience, like most seminars or like presentations like online don't really attract people much anymore, only because it's online. So that's like kind of like my whole experience with it.
I also went last year. And I mean, I don't like, not to like, I'm just saying, I personally think it's a bad idea to do it in person just because of COVID. Like, I don't think it's smart to have it indoors, first of all. I don't think it's smart to have it for 5 hours for an extended period of time. I don't think it's smart to put youth commissioners in there for 5 hours watching people talk. Like I like, just personally, because of my reservations surrounding COVID and things like that. And I think like I agree that the most effective part is being able to go and like talk to people and interact. And I definitely think that you should not have a presentation for each like company that's offering positions, because like part of the appeal also was you can go specifically to places that you're interested in. But I think you can still do it on Zoom where you have like breakout rooms that have the name of each place and people can freely move in and out. And like, especially if you have it over like maybe a longer period of time on Zoom, like, and don't have really busy rooms, then you can still have like a few people in a room, like wait your turn if you want to talk specifically to that person. Like, I think it could still work. Like, sure, maybe it wouldn't be as great as the in-person, like, but I think weighing like the positive and negative of like the risks and the rewards, I personally would not want to go in person and don't think, yeah, it's a good idea.
I want to say something. I think what Lily's saying is like completely true. I don't disagree with her at all. But if we do this event like in person, let's say we do it, if we can do it outside, I think I would recommend doing it outside. And also, if youth commissioners like Lily, for example, if she doesn't feel comfortable with going or like helping out, that's totally fine. Like I don't think it should be like mandatory. But I feel like if youth commissioners are comfortable to go to those to that event and like help out with the whole job fair and stuff, I feel like that should totally be optional. But that's just an idea, and everyone would be wearing masks and like the whole social distance, and it'd be like a little amount of people per like booth, I guess you could say.
And kind of going off of that too, like I kind of understand where Lily's coming from, like the whole 5-hour thing. Like last year, we tried to have like people like from the beginning to the end, but one thing we can also do is like shifts, where like have like 3 or like have people who are at least comfortable showing up in person. If we do in person, show up and kind of sign up for a shift. Like say we're going from 2 to 6, for example, right? We have somebody show up, like a small handful of commissioners show up from like 2 to 4, and then the next group takes over from 4 to 6, right? So that could be something. But we're still just talking and still trying to hash things out. But yeah, any other questions, comments?
We could do like a Google form or something for like the whole shifts if we do that, to like see which ones are like available and how many like youth commissioners you would want for the job fair. So I think that's a good idea if we are doing that.
I think another option, instead of having it in person, if people aren't comfortable having an in-person event, what we could do is like set up a temporary Google site or like a Google document and then have like an entrance and an exit form, or just an exit form. Because I know that like my school has done something similar for like a job fair and a college fair. So like there's access to links and different documents or like grouped under each possible opportunity, and people can just check out what they want to. And then when they're done, they just fill out an exit survey. It's like gauge their experience. So that'd be another option.
Yeah, but I think like a lot of the appeal of the job fair is like actually being able to talk to like the people at like so that they can give you more details and stuff. And I think like, yeah, if as long as you're having the event like outside and having not people there for a long time, like and not too many people. And also if you guys are going to do that, I would suggest like mark like boxes 6 feet apart, like 3 boxes around like one table, like 6 feet apart, and like so that you can have people standing there.
Yeah, I think like the only reason I would say like in person would be better than like Zoom, because I know that on Zoom, like the participants, like I think that if participants were able to like just move freely between breakout rooms, that would definitely be a good option. But I don't, like to my knowledge, I don't think that's possible. And I think you have to like either be like a co-host in order to move between breakout rooms, but I'm not sure.
No, with the Zoom update, you can definitely move in and out of rooms, and like you can open up and look at all the rooms and join the one you want to.
And like the only problem with that be like it is very effective. Like we do it all the time in school. The only next question would be like, what if people don't have that update, right? Like if they want to go to Zoom and they can't, then somebody else would just have to manually put them in. So that would just be like the backup aspect of it.
Cassie, did you have something you want to say?
Yeah. Do you know when they wanted to have the job fair? Did they have like a date in mind? Like,
I have not heard if there was a specific date. Was it usually in January last?
I remember it being in like the second half of the year, because I remember it was like we were, I think, but I'm not
I think it was late February.
Yeah.
I kind
But
of like,
I think, yeah.
Okay, yeah, Carol says it was in February last year. When I think of job fair, I kind of thought like before summer, since that's when I thought most people would be looking for jobs. So, you know, and that could also possibly give us more time for restrictions to be loosened or safer to do something in person or outdoors. So maybe planning for like April or May could be a possibility. Just saying.
Yeah, I was thinking that if we do for the job fair, if we do it outside, we might want to pick a warmer month, because otherwise, if I was a person, you know, doing either attending the job fair or being like someone giving out information, I wouldn't want to be standing outside in the cold for a long time. So we should also keep that in mind as well.
Also, another safety net that we could possibly do, like say if we do it in person. So like my school, we have like this thing, like we have like on campus activities starting up, but in order to attend, you have to do like this COVID check-in about like 2-3 days prior with like a couple questionnaire that you have to fill out, and then they'll give you like a confirmation code like a couple days later, like before you come to campus. And like if you have the QR code, only then you can kind of like, you know, interact with other people, showing like you like, you know, passed all these, like having none of these symptoms. So that could be another thing that we do, like with the Google form, or like, you know, figure out the technology aspect later on. But that could be another safety net that we can use for anybody interested. Are there any other questions or comments from youth commissioners?
I feel like we could also have people schedule like a half-hour block that they'll be there for. That way it's not just like 15 people show up, these 5 minutes, 15 people show up, these 5 minutes, and it's a bunch of different interaction. It's just one group of people there for whatever block of time, and then they leave. And then there's a new group. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I think we're like kind of finished, throwing ideas out. So I believe if Ms. Hoffman wants to join and ask us any questions or, give her aspect of it, feel free.
Let me see. I'm not used to having panelists. So let me see if I can get Carol in here. Here we go. Carol, if you'd like to ask your questions in person, there you
go. I figured worst case, I would just use the chat box because we know how well that works too. So anyway, I wanted to join you guys today to look at the job fair and see. It's so different because of COVID. I don't have any answers per se either. You guys are bringing up great points. And I was there last year. I met several of you. Two of our commissioners who helped run that event are not on the commission anymore. So I'm the only one I think left that has done it for a couple of years. So I put in the chat, there's two challenges. The one that you guys were talking about, how do we run the event? But even before that, what merchants or what people would even need help because of COVID? So talking about pushing this out for a few months may make really good sense. Instead of doing it in February, do it in April or whatever, when things are warmer and maybe the COVID situation is more clear. A lot of people that were there, so the movie theaters are not open. They were one of the people hiring. And I don't know how the city of San Jose, the city of Campbell Recreation is going to do this year, which is probably something that you can look into. I don't know. So all of these were kind of coming through my mind when you guys were talking. And, gyms were hiring and that kind of thing, but everything's limited right now. So the question is, where are the jobs for you? And that's going to be the challenge that we're all going to have to, we're going to have to all work together. This isn't something that one commissioner or the other could do, but we're going to have to find ways to search for work and people to even come out. So I think that's the first order of business right now. We're still trying to move forward with with where we stand with COVID. And I don't think we're going to know too much until March or April of next year, as far as if businesses are going to reopen, if they're going to hire. We may want to even look into online businesses, some things that may need help online. And, whether it's companies that want to have people help code or help market or escape rooms or I think we need to look at things from a different perspective than we ever have before, just because COVID's changed our paradigm completely. And so those are some of the things that I was thinking. And, I'd love to hear your thoughts back on that and, what we may consider doing. I'm going to bring this to the rest of the commission on next Thursday, or this Thursday, I guess, is my meeting. And you guys, anybody's welcome who wants to come to that as well. But I think that is kind of the first place to look at who would even be the businesses we'd invite. And we can go with the ones we had last year, but I know many of them are not hiring. They're not open. So what are your guys' thoughts about that?
I personally work in a restaurant and we're always hiring. And I know a lot of restaurants are always needing people.
Great.
People. And then also grocery stores. I have a couple friends who work there and during this whole COVID thing, they were really understaffed. And we could reach out to local grocery stores in Campbell or maybe a little bit outside. But I know restaurants are always needing people in grocery stores.
I work at tutoring center, and it's something that you can really do online. So I'm sure that a lot of tutoring centers might have possible positions open because they're still working.
Yeah, adding on to that, I think maybe another aspect could be maybe a service fair we could add on to that, because I feel like right now there's a lot of organizations that are working to reach out to people who who have been impacted by the pandemic, hospitals and like healthcare workers and all of that. So that could also be, we could also kind of widen it to be more of like just an opportunity fair to, if you know you want to do service or you want to work at a restaurant or a grocery store.
Yeah, adding on to that, like I think food banks are definitely like looking for a lot of volunteers right now. So maybe like including just volunteer organizations would like expand like the people who are there a little more.
Yeah, the library was at the job fair last year, and we only have volunteer opportunities at the moment for high schoolers, but we'll be there next time too if you want us there.
Yeah, I think going off what Ms. Hoffman had to say earlier, you know, kind of see how things are going in early 2021 to kind of see like, because like we have like a great list of ideas of like, you know, other jobs. I remember last year, most of the jobs or like, you know, opportunities that were listed, like such as restaurants, grocery stores, they weren't like really options last year, right? So like a completely new, like, you know, kind of like trend or, you know, group of merchants that we can really use for this kind of upcoming job fair. So I think what we could do is one, like anybody else can like, you know, give me their ideas after this, but kind of see how things are going in the first couple months of 2021, see like, you know, how, you know, the COVID situation is, start talking, reaching out to jobs as things are like, you know, dying down, if that's a possibility. And then we can like, you know, open up the event in April or May, you know, taking that like those first 2-3 months to really see what the situation's like and then get a better understanding what jobs are like at that moment. Then we can reach out and see like, you know, as like a, what kind of, you know, what the numbers that we can get for, you know, job opportunities and then kind of go from there.
So I think your brainstorming is great. And what I'm going to propose to the Civic Improvement Commission is that we get a committee together of 2 or 3 people on our end, and then some, you know, you guys get a committee on your end, and we work together. And you know, monthly we kind of make a plan. I like the thought about and again, you know, we can get some subcommittees together to figure this out, but getting a list of things to do. I know there are so many volunteer opportunities right now. I mean, we actually have we have a toy drive coming in December, so there are a lot of opportunities for volunteering and finding ways for you guys to maybe volunteer and make money, you know, kind of have part-time jobs or whatever, but seeing what maybe some of your peers would like and what is important for them as well. So I would propose to do that. I'm going to bring that to my group on my commission on Thursday, and I will be on that subcommittee so that we have some continuity because you've got some folks who've done this, I've done this, and I think you have great ideas. Leveraging online and I don't know ages for grocery stores and restaurants. And if you're, you know, if people's parents are okay that they're out working where there's a lot of people, that's the other thing. Some parents prefer that the work is done online opposed to out and about, depending on how COVID is. So thank you for bringing this up and for the opportunity for me to speak with you guys today. And I think we should have it in our work plan, you know, to do something with it instead of just dropping it. If you guys agree, I'll support that.
Thank you so much for being here, Carol, and other Civic Improvement members. I think we definitely still want to work on it, whether it's something virtual or something possibly in person, but I think we can definitely move forward with seeing where it goes and planning for next year. Okay.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Hoffman. Are there any public comments? All right, next we have the food drive.
Yes. So I was talking to the staff liaisons for Cupertino and Saratoga, who were the ones that put on Pizza and Politics. And they were wanting to coordinate a food drive between all the youth commissions. We had been originally thinking December 11th, and I put that on the agenda, but that got changed already, but I had already posted the agenda. So they're thinking it'll probably be more of a springtime thing, but I can just say that it's something possibly coming up that we can all work together on with the other commissions in the area. This would be something that you guys could come and, you know, help get donations. We're thinking about giving out raffle tickets for anybody who donates cans, and then each city will provide a couple prizes that then we'll raffle off to anybody who donates. So that's kind of just the general idea, but we are thinking it's going to be a spring event now. So I'll give you more details as that comes up, unless you guys have any questions now.
Are there any public comments? All right, I think that's it for new business. So calendar reminders.
Okay, so for our calendar reminders, we have the Yak Social on November 20th from 7 to 8:30, then game night on November 16th from 7 to 8 p.m. And then there's no meeting on November 23rd because of Thanksgiving break. For academics, there's no more tutoring. There's going to be a trivia night though on December 11th at 5 p.m., roughly around 30 to 45 minutes. Recreation is having the November 21st Thanksgiving crafts and also planning on Winter Wonderland, and the date is to be TBD. Social justice is going to be having immigration speakers from 4:30 to 5:30 this Friday. There will be 3 speakers, and possibly in January a virtual poster making event for the March if anyone is comfortable. And December 11th will be the food drive, possibly in the springtime. And I think that's about it. If I forgot anything, please let me know. Okay, cool.
Any other questions or comments? Any public comments? All right, then I guess we can go to what's around the table.
I think we should try this popcorn style. So someone will say their spiel, and then you have to call on somebody else to talk next after you go.
I can go now if that's easiest. Okay. So on Saturday, I had no school, so I didn't have much to do, and we had a whole 14 persimmons from my grandma's house when we went I think end of September or something like that, and they finally ripened up. So I made cookies, and the recipe that I used called for only a cup of persimmon pulp, but I had 3 cups. So I had to double the recipe, and I ended up making 60 cookies. So that was fun, and I took them to my neighbors today and one of my friends because it was her birthday, and that was fun. And my dad went on a golfing vacation, so he left on Sunday. And our Rottweiler, her name is Nia. She has a little bit of separation anxiety from my dad, especially because he's her favorite person. And whenever she sees suitcases, she goes crazy. She's like, "What are you doing with those?" And yeah, so she was pouting all Sunday morning, and yeah, so that was fun. Oh yeah, and I'm going to have Amelie go next.
Okay, so I turned 16 on Wednesday. That was cool. I hung out with my grandparents in our backyard, and then I had a couple of friends over in my backyard on Saturday, so that was fun. And also I got Chipotle for my birthday, so I was very happy about that. So Oh, I forgot to call on someone. Hannah.
So I've been turning in a lot of college apps. I've turned in 9 so far, and I wrote 3 out of 4 essays. So I'm gonna finish my final essay probably by this week. And I went to San Francisco this weekend for the first time since the end of February. And it was a lot of fun. Oh, Cassie Kim.
So today we had a t-shirt distribution for our journalism class, and it was really weird because there are people who drove by and I've never seen them before, but they're in my class. So it was nice to meet them. Yeah. Emily.
So today I went to Santana Row with one of my best friends, and we just went shopping and took pictures, and then we also ate really good food. So that was what I did today. Oh, Caitlin.
So last weekend was daylight savings, and it just makes me so happy because the weather is finally getting cold. And it's been warm for so long, and I like being able to wake up and put on fuzzy socks and just sit, I guess, for Zoom. So that's really nice. And I like the cold weather. Simone.
Okay. Let's see. The Wednesday before Halloween, I saw 2 of my best friends, and we watched Midsummer with Florence Pugh. And I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, but it was really scary, and we were really spooked after it. And then a little while after Halloween, every year I make cookies with my Halloween candy, and so I did that, and it was pretty fun. Oh, and Lily.
Okay, first of all, I'm really confused on how you make cookies with Halloween candy. Simone, can you tell me how you do that?
Yeah, so they're like chocolate chip cookies, but instead of chocolate chip, I cut up all the chocolate candy bars and I use that as the mix-ins.
Interesting. Okay, I've never heard of that before. Maybe I'll try it next year. Thank you for the inspiration. So we had a 3-day weekend, and so I was and some of my classes didn't assign homework, so I was like, yes, I'm gonna do nothing. And then so the entire weekend I did nothing. I watched 4 Harry Potter movies and went in the hot tub at our house, and now I've barely done any homework, so it's I wasted all of my time. So yeah, that's most of it. Let's see. I think, Ada, have you gone?
Not yet, thanks. So this weekend I baked an apple pie from scratch because I was also procrastinating. I was just tired of doing homework. So then I just baked, and it took 2 hours, but it's totally worth it. I ate it for breakfast today. All right, I'll go with Carmen because you haven't gone yet. Okay, I guess, not much happened this weekend. I guess I just read a lot of books, and it's been a while since I did that, so it's nice. Not for school. Reading not for school, but for fun. Anyway. And who hasn't gone? Drew?
Yeah, so like Lily, we had a 3-day weekend, which I kind of found annoying because we normally have a Wednesday off. That's my time where I mostly procrastinate on my homework. So I don't have a day in between this week to actually, procrastinate on my homework. So I did that this weekend. Still have done no homework. And I have a bunch of homework. I have a lab that's due tomorrow, which makes up a pretty big part of my grade for AP Bio. So I talked to other people. It took them 4 hours to do it. So that's my plan for tonight, to get started and, hash it out and just grind that whole thing out. And then in terms of the whole college spectrum, like Hannah, I submitted most of my early decision, early action apps already. So 4 down. And I still have about 18 more schools to go. And before anybody asks, the reason why I'm applying to a lot of schools is because of the fact that I don't know where I'll get in, right? So my idea is this. I applied as much as I can. That way I actually have options because like my dad's side of the family, they're like pretty picky. They compare us to like our cousins and stuff, right? Like, oh yeah, my son had all these, like had 8 schools for options. If I applied to like the 6 schools I wanted to, I knew I only had to pick between 1 and 2. So to play the smart game, I applied to a lot. So I can at least get like a small number, be like, yeah, you know what, bro? I had 12 schools to pick from. So like, yeah. So that's like my kind of update on life. Amelia.
Wow, that's a lot of colleges. But on Tuesday, last Tuesday, I got to work at the polls the whole day, which was a really interesting experience. It got a little bit boring because the tasks we were doing were a bit redundant. I'm very pleased with the election results, and I'm glad that I got to be a part of that. So, has anyone not gone yet?
I think Julie
Zara
hasn't
Moog.
gone. And
Yeah, Zara, Moog, and Julie have not yet gone.
Oh yeah, Zara, go ahead and go.
Yes, I'm very pleased with the election results as well. I've been reading this comic book. It's called Paper Girls, and it's about these 4 girls in the 80s, and they sort of get stuck in like time travel and stuff, and it's really interesting. Ashley, have you gone?
Okay, I think most importantly, we need to sing happy birthday to Amelie. So 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Amelie. Happy birthday to you.
Yay!
Guys, that was very funny. I like
Dear
that a lot.
Amelie, happy birthday to you.
Okay, and then for like my thing, I guess I baked a pineapple upside down cake yesterday, so that was pretty fun. And then who hasn't gone yet? Has Amog gone yet?
No. Honestly, this weekend wasn't like didn't have too many things going on, but yesterday me and 5 other friends went biking to downtown Los Gatos. We just like went to one of our friends' houses there and chilled out, and then came out. So that was pretty much it.
Julie, what did you do?
I, like many of you, enjoyed the cold weekend and baked cookies. I tried a new recipe that was like coconut, and I did some chocolate chip and some white chocolate chip, and they were pretty good. And Rebecca, how are you?
I said goodbye to, long story short, I have a friend, it's all good news, but she's moving to Lithuania. Her husband has been there since January, and she's just now moving there. So we're very excited to say goodbye to her. So it was a big weekend.
Quick question. Is she going there to play basketball? Because I know a lot of major people that have moved to Lithuania to play in the league, like LaMelo Ball. So is that a reason for the move? Because I fully support the move.
It is quite the move. She is moving there because her husband works for Unity. He does like graphic design for them, and she does not play basketball. She's quite short, but yeah, we're very happy she's moving and getting to be with her husband again.
All right, I think that's it for once around the table. So I'd like to end this meeting at 7:55 p.m.